Status reporting is more important than you realize. In fact, it forms a critical element of successful project and portfolio execution. In this video, we're going to highlight what makes up a great status report and why it's important to both project management as well as portfolio management. And we're going to see how to do this within Acuity PPM software. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel because we are putting out great content that you do not want to miss. And with that, let's jump in. And we're going to start with the portfolio management lifecycle because we need to understand how project execution fits within the context of portfolio management. So without going into all the details, because we've covered this in other videos, the four aspects of the portfolio lifecycle are defining the portfolio, optimizing portfolio value, protecting portfolio value, and delivering portfolio value. But for this video, we're going to emphasize protecting portfolio value because this really is about project execution and what the leadership team can do to ensure that the projects that are being executed can deliver the value as expected in order to maximize portfolio value. So portfolio management has a lot of benefits, but the three bullets that are highlighted in blue emphasize the execution component. That successful portfolio management can help us increase project throughput, meaning we can get more work done. We can potentially shorten project cycle times, and we can have greater confidence of meeting our customer or stakeholder commitments, and that's important. We've shared this before, some of the key questions that portfolio management helps answer. And a fundamental question that leadership teams ask regularly is, how are we performing? Are we on track? How are we doing project by project? And they should be asking, how is the portfolio performing? We can answer those questions both with status reporting as well as the right software. So let's go into a little more detail about protecting portfolio value. In this third lifecycle stage or phase, we're really focused on what steps can the leadership team take in order to protect the value of the projects being delivered. And can we deliver the portfolio? What do we need to do to keep things on track? And so the emphasis here again is on the project monitoring. Not glamorous. In fact, I've done project management status reports. Most project managers, or probably all project managers, they don't like status reporting, but the monitoring component of the portfolio helps leadership teams make better decisions based on actual project results. This enables them to drive future portfolio actions. Understanding what's happening and how to react properly can steer or drive the portfolio in the right direction. So I like this analogy. We've got a cargo ship. It needs to deliver the goods. And each project in our portfolio is likened to a cargo ship. We want to make sure that the cargo ship reaches its destination to deliver the goods. This is what the portfolio governance team should be doing. They need to do everything in their power to make sure that they can safeguard or protect the value of the portfolio by protecting or safeguarding each individual project investment. And we've got some tips based on actual executive interviews. I think these points are great and can really help project managers produce better status reports. In this first bullet, feedback was that executives, they want information that's consumable as well as actionable. Too often, status reports have way more information than the executives or senior leaders or project sponsors really need. It needs to be consumable. They're busy. They don't want to dig into a lot of the details. It also needs to be actionable. Executives benefit from dashboards. That's great. and it provides visibility to help them focus. Again, lots of information overload can frustrate the portfolio oversight. Be clear, help them focus. Tell them what they need to worry about now and how they can help. So one executive had told me, don't bother me if your status report's green. I don't need to know. Just let me know when to step in and help. So really when a project is yellow or going red or red, then let them know how they can help. I love this fourth bullet. Don't engage executives with the project details. Focus on outcomes. And I'm going to say that again, focus on outcomes. This has been a more prevalent thought in recent years, focusing on the benefits of the project. Okay, it might be late, it might go over budget, but the emphasis on, are we delivering the value that we expected? Even if we're on time, on budget, within scope, but we're not delivering the value, then our project cannot be considered successful. So don't bog down the senior leaders or the executives with the details, how you're doing. Focus on outcomes. And then another thing to keep in mind is that the project sponsors themselves, they want to be engaged and they want to help because they have a reputation that's at stake. They want to meet executive expectations. And then even the executives want to meet the expectations potentially of a board. So there's always consideration for reputation and ensuring things are successful. These tips can help drive better status reporting. It can shift the emphasis away from what we did to more of how are we doing as it relates to delivering outcomes and benefits. In terms of dashboarding, these are two examples at the portfolio level. We might want to understand how much of our portfolio budget is at risk. And many times, even within a lot of PPM software solutions, it gives you a basic count of how many projects are red, yellow, and green. That's okay, but it's not as good as measuring how much of our budget or even how much of our financial benefits are at risk based on the projects that are in a red or yellow status. So a pie chart on the left or even a bar chart on the right highlighting the benefits, how much of those benefits are at risk based on the projects they're associated with. And we're going to see this now in more detail with Acuity PPM. So here we're taking a look at one view of Acuity PPM. We've got a particular view created that allows us to look at a dashboard based on departments. Perhaps each department is sponsoring a certain amount of the projects in the portfolio. We have grouped all the projects based on their current status. And right now we're looking at the 4 items that are in a red status. This view can be very helpful because, again, we don't want to inundate leadership with too much information. Whenever I've run status report meetings, always start with the red items, go to the yellow, and then if you've got time left over, you can drill into a few of the green projects. But this is a great way of looking at it. We could just as easily further group by all the different departments, but this view is specifically IT based. So we're looking at IT projects based on their current status. With Acuity, you can have a lot of additional metadata, start and end dates, strategic goals, sponsors. We can see what phase. We've got the prioritization module in place. We can see the ranking based on the value score. So even among these 4 projects, they're ranked based on their relative value. So we can ensure that we're going to spend time focusing on the most important items. So we can drill into a single project. This is going to take us to status report. Within Acuity PPM, we can configure the status reports to convey the information that's most beneficial to the stakeholders. At the top, we can see the key stakeholders. On the right, we can see the stoplights or KPIs. We've got the narrative, which is actually very important because a lot of software solutions, their status reports are really metric-based. Again, there is value there, but what leadership is more looking for is the narrative. What's the story that you're trying to tell? Are you on track or not? Do you need help? And if yes, what kind of help do you need? Now within Acuity, we can track all the historical status reports, which is great. And in terms of the user adoption, this helps bring project managers into Acuity PPM to regularly update. So if you are struggling to get data updated at your organization, do take a look at Acuity. It's a great mechanism to keep your data fresh by bringing the project managers into the system according to your cadence for creating status reports. Could be once a month, twice a month, or possibly even weekly. And so we've got the narrative on the left-hand side. Now, as we mentioned, is help needed? Well, in this case, yes. Why is help needed? We can explain in the summary above. Something happened and it requires immediate attention, and we can see from who. The COO, VP of operations needs to be involved with some emergency meetings to keep this project on track. Further notifications could go out, alerting people to current status. But we can see on one page how the project is performing. Certainly we can highlight the key milestones of the project. We get a lot of great information, and if we need to, we can drill into risks and issues. Clearly this is an issue happening on the project. So in summary, status reporting enables the communication to help the leadership team keep projects on track. Their responsibility is to manage and govern the entire portfolio and to do what they can do within their control to protect the value of each project and thereby protect the value of the portfolio. A software solution like Acuity PPM replaces spreadsheets, it replaces PowerPoint slides. It actually gives your teams time back to work on other work. And just as I had noted earlier, within Acuity, we can use the navigation. We can quickly cycle through those 4 red projects. We can do this in real time. You don't need to create separate reporting decks. You can report project performance and status right in real time, right within Acuity PPM, based on how you filtered and grouped the data. We make it very easy to communicate what's important. And that's what leadership team needs. They don't need to be inundated with a lot of information. They want to get involved when they need to. So if you're on track, great. Let them read the status report on their own time if they want to drill in. But if help is needed, be very clear what help you need and who should give it and when. That will allow the leadership team, the sponsors, the executives to take action at the appropriate time and protect portfolio value. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, go to acuityppm.com or contact sales@acuityppm.com for more information. We'd love to help you out with your project and portfolio initiatives. Thank you.